I'm going to be playing some more of Portal Knights. Shady Glen. I named my game Shady Glen. And we are back. I love how I can see my mini mansion from this portal. As you can see, it's looking like it's almost sunset. So we'll be seeing some more of those Hollow Knights appearing very shortly. The more of these you kill, the more likely you are to get experience and an XP. When you first start out, if you're an archer, you do not get this cool badass bow. I had to make this. I had to go hunt for the materials and stuff to make this, and you would have to level up to be able to build better items. I mean, that's a given for most games. But what I was trying to say earlier, as far as not dying goes, you don't lose your progress. The little blue bar that you see at the left of the screen under the hearts, if that were to run out, I think that's when you could possibly lose your progress. But considering I haven't figured that part out yet, I have not lost any progress, and it will put me back to where I was. So I think that's part of the reason why you don't lose progress. The blue bar is your mana bar, and that's also, every time you die you end up getting teleported, and when you get teleported you end up back on the portal stone. The portal stone is one of the key elements to getting you back and forth from world to world. So far, this is the first world that they end up putting you in. And every time you go through one of these portals, it takes you to a specific world. But when you are on the portal stone, you can choose where you want to go. You can also teleport to another world that you've already been to via your map. I don't know much about this game, but I do know that these little blue orbs are part of what fuels your mana. And if your mana's full, they're just going to sit there until they Hollow Knight. At the beginning of the game, when you start this, clearly they don't die as quickly as that, because you don't stay dead. You end up getting teleported back to the teleport stone, not the teleporting doorway looking thing. So there's that. And sometimes there are things up here that you can get, like these stones here. You can see how far it goes down. So if you were to decide that you wanted to mine or use your drill, make sure you don't drill too far, because if you were to continue to drill and make it all the way through to the bottom, you will fall to your death. Unfortunately, that's pretty much how this works. But the good thing about the drill is you can do 4 at a time instead of 1 at a time. Unfortunately, if you are going through a tremendous amount of dirt to get to certain materials that you need for whether it's building or whatever, it could eventually cause your inventory to become full with the dirt. So you can redistribute the dirt from where you subtracted all the other things that you needed. Like, say, if you were mining for coal, you could fill it back up with dirt and empty your inventory. Or you can drop them or trash them. You can lock on to your target if need be. Sometimes it's not necessary, but you can. The aiming is pretty accurate. Sometimes it'll auto-lock without you even realizing it. But for the most part, it seems to be a pretty simple game. My boyfriend says it's kind of like a combination of Terraria and Minecraft. I could see that. I mean, instead of there being slime monsters that basically look like blocks of green that are supposed to be considered slime monsters, there's these blobs. So I've basically cleared the island the best that I can right now, which you could do daily, or you can build a... I'm not even sure if it's in my inventory. It's probably inside my mini mansion. But basically you could build this giant, it's like a rune square thing that will prevent the respawn of monsters around your base. But I haven't used mine yet, and I have no idea how long it lasts. You don't see very many of these skeleton looking monster things, but you do get certain things for killing certain monsters. So basically I'm going to teleport, or fast travel if you will, to another place. But before I do that, I'm gonna go back to my mini mansion. Oh look, I missed one. They will continue to respawn until dawn, and then the hollow knights will disappear until the nighttime. But the flame monsters and the weird evil parrots will continue to show up. So basically, furnace. Self-explanatory. See. Alright. Here we go. I've explained the drafting table and the archer station. Basically, the archer station, you can build slingshots, and you can build a bow. You can also build a crossbow. I've only used a regular bow so far. I don't know what the differences are between certain weapons, if one's stronger than the other, but I prefer my bow, a regular bow. Alchemy. I haven't unlocked very many things as far as making potions. I haven't actually needed them, but it comes in handy when you need to make potions when you're pretty much about to die. Now, this is what I was trying to explain earlier. The Ward of Protection. It's basically a block of different kinds of stone. Studded runestone block and runestone block. Two different kinds of runestone block. And it basically, self-explanatory, prevents enemies from respawning in the surrounding area. I don't want to prevent them from respawning because I would want to continue to kill them, because it gives me all the things that I need without having to travel to another world. And as far as a workbench goes, you can upgrade them, but upgrading them requires stuff that I don't have. So you can make furniture, you can make doors, you can make fences, basic things that you would put in your house. Nothing fancy. But if you were to go to another world, you could possibly buy better furniture, or you can buy scrolls that will teach you how to make better furniture. I've already explained the stone pickaxe versus the copper pickaxe. My best understanding of this is you can start off by having certain items because that's what's handy in the first world that you go to. Then there are several other items that would require more things to make them with. As far as making armor and things to wear, as an archer you only get to wear certain items. Already explained that. And potions. Basically, collect ingredients, you make the potion. It's not too terribly difficult. As far as upgrading stuff goes, I have a workbench too, which I could upgrade right now. So now I have a better workbench. And since I don't have any iron, all I have is primarily copper. I have yet to find iron, so until then, I can't exactly tell you. Just so you know, you're not safe in your own house. Every once in a while, a bird flies in. Clearly the chests don't have nearly as much of a capacity for space and storage, so until you can upgrade your ability to make better chests, this is what you got. You can make plenty of the just plain ordinary wooden chests, but you might need to make, I don't know, 4 or 5 if you want to continue to collect a bunch of stuff and not be over encumbered and not have enough room for quest items if you need them. For example, each place can only hold up to, I want to say, things like the straw block can only have like 200 in one slot. The dirt, 400 in one slot. Most of these little block things can only hold up to 200. And yes, the bones from the skeleton dudes that you kill, they do come in handy. I have yet to figure out where to place some of the things that I have. And I also have a chest in other worlds, like storage places. I think I have 2 that aren't at my home base. As far as having the blue shard pieces, you can only have 50 in one spot. But other than that, it seems to be... you can get rid of stuff like that. As you can see, I have here several different types of blocks. Flame Ruby, that was in a world that I'm gonna travel to as soon as I leave here. That was in the world following the one where I got the rubies from. A completely separate world. See, this is the original wooden bow. It's the basic form of it compared to this one, the Copper Masterwork bow, which I have a feeling that I'd be able to upgrade to better material and better things to work with later on, as soon as I can collect like the steel and iron and things like that. And you can have water bombs, and apparently you can have little mini rockets. I have yet to use those, so those should be fun later on. I don't want to overuse some of my traps and things, and I don't want to overextend my storage capacity. Blazing chili peppers. Yeah, I collected a few of those in one of the worlds that I traveled to. Here we go. Since I don't use traps that often, I didn't see the point in trying to hold on to them. As far as wood goes, I'm going to store that. I don't need it right now. If I were to need it later, I know where it is. Since I don't really need those right now, don't see the point in keeping them. No. I think that'd be a good place for that. Looks pretty good to me. I think that's good placement. Yes, these redstones actually came from one of the dungeons that I explored. I pretty much mined for them and used them as my roofing tiles because I didn't want to have to travel to another world just to go find some. I'm going to check my inventory. And as far as learning how to do recipes, you put them down here in your at the bottom of the screen where you would normally have your weapons and potions and things. You make sure that there's an empty slot, you put it there, and then you press R2 and you're good. You end up learning how to make certain things. Potions and stuff. But in this case, I do believe I've learned how to make classic seat, which is specialty furniture. That's about it. And apparently there is like a bumblebee costume, like an entire costume. And I have no idea what its uses are. And I can't exactly make it because I don't have the right kind of drafting table. Alright, here's another thing that I wanted to cover. Attributes. Constitution, your strength, your agility, your dexterity, your wisdom, and your intelligence. Intelligence is basically your magic power. Wisdom is the affects your ability to cast spells. Dexterity affects your aim from afar. Agility, your ability to run away. Yeah. Or how fast you can run. Strength. Clearly, as the power and strength increases, you get to do more damage. And your constitution is basically your amount of life. I started out with 3 hearts, and now I have about 6 now. And talents. So crossbow specialization, sling specialization. I have yet to use either one of those because I prefer the regular bow. And honestly, I don't see much difference. But it's just what I'm more comfortable with. Sentry stance. Increases damage dealt by 25%. Fading. Increases your chance by 50% for 10 seconds you can possibly dodge shit. Dodge chance, where you can be missed where if you're being attacked it won't hit you. And it continues on. So some of these have yet to be unlocked. Potion mastery, I have yet to do that. Anyway. Alrighty. Also, as far as making things goes, you don't have to have the workbench for some items, but for everything else you usually do. Don't be afraid of this guy. He's not gonna hurt you. You're good. But this was my first attempt at making some kind of home base, but I was very unsure about how everything worked, and I was still trying to gain my bearings on how to fix everything and get everything, you know, set and figuring things out. Oh, here's another thing. Apparently you can collect people and put them in your inventory and use them later. Not really sure what you use them for, but I guess if you needed them for some kind of advice. It would make sense. And before I didn't realize that you could use the sharpening stones to fix damage done to your weapons and stuff, and I wasn't sure how to make those. I just thought I got them through the loot. I made a bunch of different bows and a bunch of different stone pickaxes, which wasted material that I could have been using for other things. But whatever works, right? Okay. While I am here, I'm gonna go ahead and take these people and set them free. So, you can drop the people. Or you can recollect them. They pretty much just float there. I'm guessing you can't really unleash them underground. Oh well. So, this is one of the structures. I buried under it and found this. And I built a little staircase to come out of it. You can chop down the cacti and the little cactus flower things, and you can get seeds or water or something from it. And yes, this happens. Pardon my son, he feels a little left out. Woo! So, traveling from world to world, killing monsters, collecting the loot from killing them, gaining experience, like this guy. Not really sure how he lost his pants, but apparently one of the first quests that I had to do that was this guy, and he needed pants. So I had to go collect items to make him some pants and bring them back. Sounds a bit silly, but apparently that's part of what makes this game pretty fun. And when I first started playing and I came to this world, this particular fountain wasn't here, and neither was this building. The further you complete quests and travel to other worlds, you'll come across some new things when you come back. Say you were to complete all the necessary quests and get enough of those blue portal blocks to rebuild the portal there. Like right here. You had to place so many blue portal blocks to complete the portal there. And upon doing that, you know, that makes it where other people can travel back and forth through there. And eventually when you come back, there's going to be plenty more quests and things to do. And apparently, just like the creatures in this game that respawn, so does the loot in the chests. So you can open the same chest that you find under structures numerous times. Not really sure how many times they'll refill back up, or if they do it every time, or whatever. As you can see, that particular Hollow Knight was way different than the ones in the previous world. The ones in the previous world were blue, and those are purple. And there are other creatures in this game that, like the floating one-eyed bat. And yes, things like that happen. And I know a lot of the structures look like they're unfinished, but I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. But here in this world, there are plenty of shops where you can buy things, build things, and you can collect items, sell items.
Hello.
This guy, I think he does stonework. And granted, the subspeak there in the little chat bubble is English, but they talk basically like the Sims. And this guy sells stone like drawbridges and fence posts and apparently coffins. Not really sure why you need those, but if you did, they're there. Sundials. You can sell stuff to this person, or you can buy stuff from this person. You don't have to sell a lot. You can pick and choose how much you plan on selling to this person. Then there are weird ways to get experience, like climbing through walls and finding little hidey holes, all that stuff. Personally, I prefer this point of view, especially in like tight and closed places. It's like they have little secret ways where you can travel from place to place. But be careful. If you can't see where you're going, you will fall off the map and die. And here, there's also a stylist. So if you don't like the way your character looks, or you feel the need to just change hair color, hairstyle, or give your lady a beard, here you are. And yes, they have a decent selection of colors. Figured I'd go with a character that looks similar to me, but apparently without a nose. Most of the time I usually stick with blonde or red, but that seems to work out. It doesn't have any kind of effects on changing your appearance or anything like that, but it's fun. And yes, as far as all these barrels and things, you can chop them. And yes, you can collect things. And you don't always get the same things. Nothing you would really expect. It's like, that's new. I didn't expect it to be there. And as far as I know of, I have not seen a door in this game that has been locked. So you could pretty much just walk into people's houses. you can manage to get up the stairs. Come this way. See, there's a portal. But that is not the only portal. In some worlds, there are multiple portals, and you just gotta find them. Let's see. The only door that I know of that has been locked was this one, and that was because you weren't allowed to speak to a prisoner. And that was part of a quest. Oh, nifty fact. If you walk too far away from something that you're like a monster or something you're shooting at, their life points will go back to the way they were before you started shooting at them. Yeah, I know. It sucks. Just be careful wandering around, because you never know what you'll find. Like I said, there's more than one portal. I think after this particular jump through the portal, I'm going to end this session. It's already gotten to like 44 minutes already. Stay magical, nerds, and I'll be back with you possibly later on this week, or maybe later on tonight. Who knows? I'm here when I'm here. Peace out, guys. Stay magical, nerds.